You're getting a little bit red. It seems a bit like a bit hot or something.
Yeah, I'm feeling a bit more hostile to like everyone in front of me because they're doing nothing and it's annoying me. I'm feeling hotter. I'm feeling hotter. I'm feeling hotter for... I'm wondering why I'm feeling hotter when nobody's doing anything.
So you're thinking again, you're trying to, if you have the project to make sense of what happens all the time, you're gonna repress yourself emotionally.
Yeah, I feel like that was my way of being defensive.
Yes.
Just being calm, being deadpan, and just observing everything around me.
You have a space to explore your awareness without the responsibility of making sense. So it's a good thing to embrace.
I feel still. I'm watching people. People are looking at me. Someone's writing. Someone's writing makes me curious. It makes me wonder what she's writing. She's smirking. But I don't feel like she's judging me, so I still feel calm. There are lots of cameras pointing at me. Someone's vaping. There's a motorbike outside. I hear a fan. There's a kitchen. I'm still, I'm not moving. I'm wondering why I'm not moving. I'm wondering why I'm still. I'm thinking why I'm still. My hands are starting to sweat a bit. My thumb is shaking. I stopped my thumb from shaking. Something's moving outside. I'm thinking how I feel inside, but I can't point it out. There's people watching. There's people watching, but they don't feel like people. They feel like objects. They feel like they're not real. I'm wondering if I'm dissociating. I'm wondering if I'm dissociating, why I'm dissociating. I don't feel uncomfortable. I don't feel hot. I don't feel any sensations. I'm just...
Are you aware of what you're doing right now?
I shifted my posture.
Yes.
I shifted my posture to feel less stiff, to feel more relaxed, to a more comfortable posture. I moved my hands. I think I did that because I'm explaining. I took a gulp. I'm pursing my lips. Someone's on their phone. Someone dropped their phone. Someone's watching me. Someone's cracking their knuckles. I shifted my posture.
Are you aware that you're very vigilant? You notice a lot of things fast?
Sorry?
Are you aware that you're very vigilant about what's happening outside? You notice a lot of things very fast?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm trying to see what to observe. I'm curious. And nothing sparks my curiosity right now. So I'm trying to observe as many things as possible, just to find something to be curious
So you're trying
about.
to become curious?
I'm trying to become curious. I'm wondering why I'm not curious about something, because I usually am curious about stuff. It's so quiet. Even the outside of the building is quiet.
So there's a bit of wanting to be somewhere else. You want to be something that you don't feel right now, or
Sorry?
you want to be more curious than you are now, or like how are you now, the way you are? Would you say?
I feel blank. I don't really feel like I need to be somewhere. I feel like I'm perfectly fine just sitting here. but I feel blank, and I don't know if that's me being blocked off. But I don't feel blocked off because I don't feel discomfort. I'm looking at the camera. It doesn't feel like anything. I feel uninterested. I feel calm. I'm holding my hands. I'm leaning in. I'm thinking. I'm making more eye contact. Someone opened their eyes when I said that. I feel like it's a simulation. There's people watching me and I'm watching people.
So you imagine it's a simulation. Do you realize that you're figuring things out right now? There's a level of trying to...
I feel like I'm trying to make things interesting in my head because I'm getting bored.
Yes.
And it's so quiet. And I'm trying to make sense of it.
Yes, so you're thinking about it?
I'm thinking about it.
Yes.
I'm thinking about how strange the experience is. I moved my hair. It's feeling kind of hot. I'm looking around. I'm searching for something.
So how is it just the way you are? Like if you don't commit to this search too much, how are you now?
I feel hungry. I feel blank. I feel blank. There's not much going on. I feel a need. I don't feel a need of stimulation. I'm just comfortable. I'm slouched. I feel like I'm thinking.
Yes.
I'm thinking a lot.
Yes.
I'm thinking a lot. I don't know what I'm feeling.
So you're thinking about what you're feeling?
I'm trying to figure out what I'm feeling.
Yes. If you just pay attention to your body the way it is.
Sorry?
If you just pay attention to your body just the way it is.
I feel still. My body feels still.
Still, yes.
Starting to sweat a bit. Starting to wonder if I'm doing the right thing. That's making me a bit nervous. I'm squinting, I'm thinking again. My body's still still. Nothing's really going on internally. I'm focused on the external.
So you're still analyzing a little bit everything?
I'm analyzing.
Yes.
Trying to find something interesting, but I can't find it inside or outside. That makes me feel strange. It makes me feel like I'm asleep. That makes me feel like sleep is even more interesting than this. Because in sleep there are dreams. But I'm feeling warm. Feeling a bit uncomfortable by how strange this is. And by how abnormal this interaction is with a bunch of people watching me and cameras looking at me.
Do you seem more energized now? Do you seem more sensitized in a way?
A bit more energy. I feel a bit more annoyed by the silence.
Yes.
I feel like, what are you doing, guys? I feel like, why is everything so silent? I feel like everyone's acting strange.
So you're a bit annoyed?
I'm a bit annoyed.
You're getting a little bit red, it seems a bit like a bit hot or something.
Yeah, I'm feeling a bit more hostile to like everyone in front of me because they're doing nothing and it's annoying me. and I just did this, I feel a bit irritated. But I don't feel like they're bad people. They're like controlled. They're not being normal people. It feels strange. It feels... I'm feeling hotter. I'm feeling hotter. I'm feeling hotter for... I'm wondering why I'm feeling hotter when nobody's doing anything.
So you're thinking again, you're trying to...
I'm shocked. I'm shocked at the development of my emotion.
Yeah.
From being still to being angry for no reason. But I think that's valid. I feel like I don't have to explain it. I feel like it's just going. Someone's not watching. Why are they not watching? Someone watched, they're shocked. I feel good that they're shocked. I feel I'm happy because they should watch. I find it funny. Oh, they're interacting with me like a normal person. Oh my, I'm relieved. I'm relieved. I feel like I'm not in front of a glass screen anymore. I feel like I'm in a... But everyone else is still acting weird. Everyone else just watching. Somebody laughed at me. Somebody laughed at me. Some people are laughing at me. That feels better because like some people are finally doing something. It feels more normal. I feel like I'm coming down, but as I think of me coming down and becoming more anxious, I feel stupid. I feel okay. My arms are rested. I'm pretty relaxed. Generally relaxed. This feels calming. It feels relaxing. There's a camera twirling. There's a camera twirling. I find it funny. I find it unnatural. I find it confusing. Now it's stopping.
The kind of disapprobation, like you're not happy about... you seem a bit unhappy or unsatisfied. Yeah?
I just feel weirded out why it was twirling. Or why the person was twirling it. But I don't feel if it's a good or bad thing. I feel like it just is. I took a deep breath. I stretch. I feel like I'm too stagnant.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
How is it for you, this exercise?
It feels weird. And I feel like the initial, I was blocked off.
You are desensitized.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I was feeling nothing and it made me feel strange, but it didn't even make me feel that strange. And I think it's my way of like dealing with a strange situation.
Yes.
It's kind of like how she dealt with it differently, like they both dealt with it differently.
Yes. Like your mind becomes very active.
Yeah.
Yes. You're very vigilant and you're trying to understand and to perceive very fast.
Yeah.
Yes. But
I feel like a cat that just got into a room and it's just like looking around. But then I feel like that was my way of being defensive.
Yes.
Just being calm, being deadpan and just observing everything around me.
Yes.
But then eventually I felt a bit more comfortable. And then that's when emotions just went back in and started flowing again. And I think that's when I got irritated and stuff.
Yes, it was interesting, the anger.
Yeah,
Because you named it, I think, without really being completely in touch with. You said I'm angry, and then you said I'm blank just after.
Yeah.
And then quite a while after that, it came back physically.
Yeah.
Yes. Is it something that you feel like you're maybe holding down anger a little bit, or like?
It just happened. Well, I feel like once I got comfortable, I think that's when everything just flowed in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is good. It was interesting. Yes. Is it okay for you to have a little feedback?
Sorry?
It's okay to have a little feedback.
Okay.
Yes. How is it for you guys?
I thought that octaves are trying to direct you to move more towards the internal observations, but I was wondering, did you find it easier to keep it more on the external observation?
I'm not sure, because when I'm observing externally, I forget about what's happening internally. And I think it just comes out physically. But since I'm hyper-focused, like for example on the camera, I can't think about how I'm feeling. It just comes out through my body, I guess. Yeah.
Yes. And there's no rule about one area in particular. It's about sharing your awareness and potentially exploring your awareness. So if you become aware that in fact you never naming physical things, it's a good sign that maybe you can name it, or whether or not you are able to name it. So that can be a question. If you're cutting contact, it can also, like if a zone is absent or if a zone is being cut when it emerges, it's a good sign that it's interesting to explore. Yes, in that case, there were less physical sensations named at first. So it was interesting to see a resensitization, yes. It's interesting also for people going through the exercise to realize that what they're avoiding sometimes is very actually interesting. So that's a good thing. Like your feedback as an audience also serve as a function to help people realize that what they think should be avoided actually is very interesting on stage. Anything else about this?
I found it really interesting when you were just looking at everything. I look back on my course, which is like an investigator on a show. Like, it's like, and the more you kind of scan through, like, whoa, you instantly like an investigative role, which is, I found it very interesting.
Yes. No, for sure. It was still interesting. Like the way in which you avoid your experience can be interesting, especially if you go towards less avoidance or if you go back and forth. But there was a degree of intensity in your attention that was interesting to watch. And in a way, the anger that came after was interesting, very interesting too as well. But it was still interesting at the start. But I think it's interesting for you as an actor to not be in that mode all the time, because it's a mode that you can stay in for a while, and it can take a while to resensitize yourself in those cases. So I liked that you became gradually hotter and more like, charged.
But I was wondering, was I like exhibiting avoidant behavior? Because like at the start, I genuinely felt calm. But
Yes.
now looking back, I felt like I was being defensive. But like, maybe I convinced myself that I was actually calm
Yes,
and actually
yes.
believe it. So
No,
I don't
for
know
sure.
if I was really calm or if I was actually being avoidant.
Yes, for sure. It's a good question. We become aware of what we avoid also after the fact, and then gradually the more you work that way, the more you become aware of it quickly. So it took a while for you to realize that you didn't have any physical sensation. So in a way that's an avoidance because you're desensitized. So literally you are desensitized. Also you're desensitized in a situation where it's normal to feel a bit nervous because people are watching you. It's an exercise, etc. So there's many ways in which we could say it was a form of avoidance, but it's okay, and it's something that you're used to, and it was still interesting to watch. But yes, it can be, we avoid things, by being in our heads.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like, for example, when I'm observing, I immediately feel desensitized. I don't know. Like it's kind of what I got from his comment. Like I was focusing on the external,
Yes.
and then when I try to look back in myself, I don't know how to describe what I'm feeling anymore.
Yes.
Like I feel, for example, sweat, but I don't know why.
Yes.
When I try to be aware of what I feel, I can't. It's just the physical sensations.
Being aware it's enough to feel it, to be aware of it. Like you don't need to know why to be aware. Yes, if you try to know why, when it's happening all the time, it's actually going to cut you off from your experience.
Okay.
Because you're in your head in parallel. You're trying to understand everything that happens, so you have a mental activity on top of your experience.
So how do you express how you feel without trying to figure out how you feel?
So you become aware that you're doing this activity all the time because it's so habitual that it seems normal. And it's not abnormal, it's nothing, but it's just something that you are doing. So by realizing that you're actually doing it, you can start to do it less or to not do it all the time. So then you can just talk about your sensations and something happens and you don't know why it happens.
Yeah.
But it's good to renounce for a while, trying to understand why it happens.
I see.
Yes. So that's what you did in this exercise. And then right now you are more sensitized, even in the way you are, than before.
Yeah.
So it's just like going through this, even with the exercises. At the beginning, you were saying like people don't even seem human to you,
Yeah.
or like you feel like object is like a simulation. So and everything you were analyzing, and it was still very interesting to watch. But there was a level of constant dissociation. And you already knew that yesterday, maybe the day before. You asked me about it, with repetition. So it's something that you are aware of.
Yeah.
And you gradually, even in the exercise before, it was already much more sensitized. So that's the direction of the work for you in this technique. Becoming aware that you're doing it. When you're doing it, so you can fix it yourself.
So basically the awareness exercise is going to help me be more sensitized?
Yes, the repetition is like an awareness because you're sharing to the other person how you feel in the contact. And even if you say, I'm dissociated, you dissociate me, or I'm dissociated with you, and then you like or you don't like. And after a while, exactly like in this exercise, their reaction might also trigger something because you might say like, I'm telling you about myself, why are you not reacting yourself, or whatever, So after a while, just by keeping, without too much intention or without too much of a project, just keeping the thing, the protocol of just like telling them how you are right now, not trying to go deeper, not trying to understand it more, not trying to be understood, and then it naturally emerges.
I see.
You shouldn't try to force on your blocks.
So I don't need to explain why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling?
No. In fact, you shouldn't in this practice.
Okay.
That's why I was saying yesterday, like in the improvisation, we elaborate in very specific ways, but we never explain the causality.
Okay.
Because in fact we're irrational, like essentially, like it's like a child, or a child is gonna like hit someone and then laugh and then do something else.
Yeah.
And it's the same for an animal and stuff. So we are lost in our heads and we try to keep an illusion of coherence to reduce the cognitive dissonance. But in fact, we are irrational if we let ourselves be. So if you have the project to make sense of what happens all the time, you're gonna repress yourself emotionally.
I see.
So you have a space with your classmates, even or on your own, you have a space to explore your awareness without the responsibility of making sense or being coherent. So it's a good thing to embrace.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah.
Good exercise, thank you.